YouTubers, and welcome back to another Dragon Ball Super discussion video. Actually, think of this more as a rant video when it comes to Gohan and the way not only the Tournament of Power treated him, but Dragon Ball Super as a whole. So, for everyone who saw the video, I did a video with D-Free a couple of days ago, and I brought this up, and I just wanted to get my thoughts out here for anyone who might have missed it or didn't get through the entire video. Basically, why did the series treat Gohan the way that it did? And I understand there are some people who are going to listen to this and think, well, you're just a Gohan fanboy and you just wanted so much out of him and this wasn't ever promised to us in any way, shape, or form. And then there are some other people who are going to listen to this and think, well, you know, you're absolutely right, you're not a Gohan fanboy, you're thinking clearly. And then there's also some people who think that I'm just a hater. There's so many different aspects and so many different ways that people can respond to a video like this, and that's totally fine. I just want you to listen to what I have to say here, take it with a grain of salt if you're biased in one way or another, and come back in the comment section below and tell me what you really think of what I'm going to be saying here. But with that being said, Gohan was really treated very unfairly in Dragon Ball Super, and here's why. This is a character, a fan favorite character for a lot of us. You know, one of the people that we actually got to grow up with. And I know Dragon Ball has always been the story of Goku, and Dragon Ball started with Goku being a young boy and then kind of maturing into a young man, having a wife, having a kid or two kids, and obviously Dragon Ball Super is going to focus on his character more than anything else. And I think one of the reasons the way they treated Gohan really affects us here in the States or in the Western world is because Gohan is our type of kid character. He was the person we were introduced that probably more resembled us from a young age, and that's who we really kind of latched onto. At that point, when Dragon Ball Z was being aired on Toonami back in the 90s, and whenever you actually ended up watching the show, be it Kai or anything like that, Gohan was the kid that we related to, that we grew up with. He was the person, when he beat Cell, it meant something, it mattered to us. This is somebody we wanted to take up the mantle. And back in the day, back when we got to the Majin Buu arc and the whole Great Saiyaman thing, that thing really made me mad, because I was of the group that thought, this is not the Gohan I wanted, this is not something, it's too childish, there's too many varying emotions here, this dating with Videl, all of it just didn't really meet the flow. This wasn't the person that we left at the end of the Cell games, but the older I've gotten, the more I've kind of warmed up to that entire arc, and I would even call it one of my favorites. The way Super has handled him, though, I understand they took him in the direction that he was headed for at the end of Dragon Ball Z. Yes, he had the power up with the unlocked potential, the ultimate form, and everything like that, but that was a real desperate situation in that no one could have beaten Majin Buu. They needed Gohan to have this power up, and he had to go save the Earth. And also, just a plot point that they were trying to put out there, that anyone could have beaten Majin Buu at any given time if not for everyone's sheer stupidity. I mean, that's the entire thing throughout that arc, and I know a lot of people don't like it. I do, but that's just because I like having everyone have a little bit of shine. One thing that Dragon Ball Super just couldn't deal with actually doing if it wasn't Goku or Vegeta. Gohan comes into Super, new daddy, that's pretty awesome. Great character moment for him, and then almost immediately becomes useless to the point where powering up into Super Saiyan destroys his body. Yes, Frieza had been, hurting him before that, and it was kind of a last-ditch effort. Piccolo had already died, there was an emotional connection there, everything like that. I'm totally fine with the movie adaptation into the series because we all knew going in that Gohan wasn't going to be much help for anyone involved. The problem here, at least in my opinion, is the way that they treated him after it. I know I've said this before, but having him sit out the whole Champa arc tournament is something that I absolutely hate. Not just the fact that he sits out of it. This is the Gohan that we had already seen just a couple episodes prior telling himself, well, I wasn't prepared for this. Piccolo, can you train me again? When we meet Gohan as they're trying to recruit for that tournament, Goku asks, and he's like, yeah, totally, I want to do this. I've been training just to do this. This is a perfect way to get my fighting sense back and everything involved with that. It would have been awesome to see Gohan and Vegeta and Goku fighting on the same team for one tournament. I know we got that in the Tournament of Power, but just bear with me. It would have been cool. But they're like, no, actually Gohan's going to go to this conference and that's it. Okay, that's fine. I understand. The whole conference, work angle, his maturity, the fact that he wanted to be a scholar is something that we need to just kind of accept when it comes to Gohan's character. That's cool. The very fact that we stayed in that tournament the entire time and we never got to cut back to Gohan, maybe he was like, man, maybe I should have gone to that tournament. Or maybe he could have been bored in the conference and there's somewhat of a fighting situation or a little subplot to that entire tournament. Because say what you want about it. I love Hit, I love Kaba, I love Frost stuff. Magetta and Botama were also pretty cool. But say what you want about that tournament. We lingered in that ring for far too long. The Tournament of Power has the same problem. There's not a lot of places or things to explore. We're just focusing on fights and character dialogue, and I have to say, without a huge change of scenery for every episode, or at least a couple episodes in between, it gets a little stale, it gets a little boring. Gohan would have been a perfect pick-me-up and a way to show that maybe he is still thinking about fighting and building up his character for future arcs. They didn't do that, and that is really, really obnoxious in my opinion. And then we jump into the Future Trunks, Goku Black, Zamasu arc, and okay, I understand this. This is something where we have Gohan in a fatherly role. He sat out the last tournament, and Trunks' whole problem is a bit above what Gohan is, I guess, should be dealing with. That's totally fine. I feel like even Piccolo sitting there going, this isn't the Gohan you knew. This is someone who's completely devoid of fighting potential or anything. Like, he doesn't want to fight. He's a pacifist at heart and blah, blah, blah. That's fine. Trunks goes, okay, yeah, that's the Gohan I knew, which, for the most part, I call bull on that too, because in the History of Trunks special, if you go back and watch that, I don't care if it's English dub or anime or anything else like that, Gohan acts completely different from his character, and just Trunks simply saying, yeah, that was what Gohan always wanted. That's the Gohan I knew. No, it isn't. Go back and watch that special, Trunks. We made that canon for this series. We had flashbacks specifically to that little special. That's not the Gohan you knew. The Gohan you knew was a BA. He fought the androids on his own every chance he got, and he talked about having fighting and Chi-Chi making him not want to fight and everything else like that. It's in the Japanese too. It's ridiculous. It's not Gohan's character, and it's always been one of the things that I kind of hate about that special. But okay, you want to change that, that's fine. We didn't actually watch it. And then Trunks does this. They don't tell Gohan. Gohan kind of comes in at the very end. He's like, oh man, I wish you would have told me. Okay, this is what, 3 times now, or at least twice, where Gohan's been sitting on the sidelines and been like, yeah, I can't do anything about this. Maybe I should do something about this. Oh man, I wish you would have told me to do something about this, or I'm not even going to be joining your tournament because I have a conference. A conference, by the way, I forgot about this. A conference, by the way, for a job, or to get a job that he ultimately ended up declining, which would have been a better plot point during the tournament, but he ultimately ended up declining and then accepting, which is really, really freaking weird in my opinion, but I guess that's not really the point. Just a needless plot thread for the most part in Dragon Ball Super. But then we get to the Tournament of Power, and so much build-up for him, and this is what's really, really obnoxious, is the entire series has been dicking him around the entire time, like I've been saying. Just kind of breaking it down for you guys, and Gohan finally gets a chance to step up, and they give him the preliminary matches. Goku entrusts this whole knowledge that if we lose this tournament, the entire universe is going to go down. We need to get Boo and you, and we're going to go fight in these preliminary matches. Gohan almost loses, but he has the confidence, and Goku sees the potential in him that's been sprinkled out through this entire series. Gohan has potential. Gohan has potential. Gohan's fighting style is coming back, or fighting potential, or whatever, is coming back. And Goku's like, hey, be our captain. Hey, do this, help me recruit, all this other stuff that was really awesome character moments for both characters. And we all thought, okay, Gohan might have some real relevance in this tournament. He might actually do something of significant value. He doesn't have to win, but he could be on the other side of the whole Goku Cell Gohan fight. They just could have redone that where Goku and Gohan were kind of switching places, where Gohan thinks he has the most potential, or everyone thinks that Gohan's going to win it, but Gohan becomes the moral support of Goku or something like that. But no, they don't do that at all. Gohan becomes the captain. Ultimately, no one listens to him the entire tournament, and one by one, everyone gets whittled down until it's basically Gohan, Goku, Vegeta, and Frieza left in 17, and Gohan gets eliminated, or at least he sacrifices, eliminates himself in order to take out Dispo. Now, I like Dispo. They really made his character worthwhile, worth actually going out and seeing, like, oh man, this guy is going to has really cool powers. Maybe we all misjudged him, yada yada yada. But Gohan eliminating himself in order to eliminate Dispo just doesn't really feel right, especially when you had all that build up. You had even Gohan saying he was going to reach a form that no one ever saw before, and everything else that was at least able to pick, like dialogue, scenes. Why would you introduce this? Why would you introduce this if it wasn't going to amount to very much in the first place? And that is really my biggest gripe here. You can have everyone saying, oh, you just don't know Gohan's character, this was never going to happen for his character, anything else like that, all you want. That's not true. That's not the way stories are told. This show, more than one occasion, a couple occasions, really pointed at Gohan and said, this guy has potential, this guy's our leader, this guy wants to get a new form that no one else has ever seen before, all this other stuff. You don't tell stories where you say all this stuff and you make points to continuously bring up something that ultimately leads to nothing. Gohan was the only person in this entire tournament, only Saiyan really, who didn't get a transformation. Kale got her Berserker form, Caulifla got Super Saiyan 2, Kaba got Super Saiyan 2, Vegeta got his Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Evolution, or whatever we're going to actually end up calling it, and then Goku got Ultra Instinct Perfected, or anything else that you want to call that. So yeah, this is ridiculous. I think that they really did him dirty throughout this entire series, and I understand his character is a scholar. He's more of a pacifist. We've said this over and over and over again, but it doesn't really get over the fact that they completely wasted the potential to bring him back in a legitimate way. And the problem I have with this, at least the way I see it, is they did all of this. They completely shafted Gohan's character in order to give us an awesome 17 and a cool 17 death. To give us that one inkling of, this is the stakes. This is the real ramifications of this entire tournament. We lose this one character. Oh yeah, by the way, that we forgot about. We forgot about ever since the whole Cell games, before the Cell games even started. So yeah, that's my rant. I really think that Gohan has been shafted this entire series, but I want to hear everyone's thoughts and opinions in the comment section below. Do you think he was done well? Do you think that what he did and what he got throughout this entire series, not just the Tournament of Power, was okay for his character? Am I being too nitpicky here? Anything that you want to say in the comment section below. But like I said, hope you listen to all this before you go down and just start railing on me in the comments. I hope everyone has a fantastic day. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell over by the subscriber button to notify you every single time I upload. It's been real.